Hello YouTube, Gaming Goddess here with a review on Tales of Berseria, a Japanese role-playing game published by Bandai Namco Entertainment for the PlayStation 3, 4, and Windows PC. This is the 16th installment to the Tales series, sharing the same world as Tales of Berseria but taking place in a distant past. Our main character, Velvet, is a young woman who turned into a demon and is out for revenge. So with that being said, let's jump right into the review. Tales of Berseria is a role-playing game where the player navigates the game's world from a third-person perspective. While on the field or in a town, characters can interact through skits. These are animated clips that take place outside of cutscenes and battle and can range from serious conversations to comedic conversations between the characters. This isn't a new feature to the Tales series as it has been used in previous games, but what is new to the skit system is that the characters will appear in various poses to represent the dialogue. When in a town, the player can access shops where the player can buy items, weapons, armors, accessories, ingredients, sell treasure, and even upgrade their equipment. By dismantling weapons, armors, and accessories, the player can use the materials gained to upgrade any of the weapons, armor, and accessories that they have. I don't normally upgrade my equipment when given the option to, but with this game I found myself doing this a lot. You will obtain multiple duplicates of each item, so it's pretty easy to just dismantle them all and upgrade the ones you use the most. So now if you're wondering why I mentioned ingredients, that is because throughout the player's journey the player will learn new recipes which can be made by any of the party members. Each character has their own additional effects that will be added to the type of food that they cook. As the character levels up their cooking skill, more effects will become available to the player. One cool thing about the cooking feature is that the player can set it to automatically cook after every battle. I used the automatic cook feature a lot and it was actually pretty helpful. Now aside from the main quest, there are some side quests, Code Red demon hunts, and the Class 4 islands. In my playthrough, I didn't really focus on completing the side quests that were available to me, but I did do a lot of the Code Red demon hunts. Code Red demons appear as a red X on the player's minimap. They are stronger than the normal demons that roam the field, but in return the player can get a lot of money from defeating them. As for the Class 4 islands, the player will fight multiple waves of monsters and will end up getting a bunch of the same items in return. I'm not sure if there's any real purpose to it, but it's kind of fun to just go and beat up a bunch of monsters. Now a nice little feature that I really enjoyed were the minigames. This game provides a good amount of minigames that the player can take part in to earn Tales coins. These Tales coins can be used to purchase costumes and costumes accessories. I love having the option to let a character wear a particular costume or a set of accessories, as well as change their hairstyle. So with that being said, and with all the major gameplay out of the way, let's go right into the battle system. As many of you know, the Tales games features a real-time battle system, also known as the linear motion battle system, where the player can move around freely in the given area. Each character has their own physical attacks, magic attacks, and special attacks known as arts. These arts can have various effects on the enemy, causing a status element or even stunning them. Players can also use items, block attacks, perform a sidestep to avoid attacks, and escape from battle. Items do have a cooldown time, but this didn't really bother me. Aside from that, the player can freely change characters mid-battle or can even use the 4-player co-op option. I unfortunately don't have friends or extra controllers lying around, so I wasn't able to see just how effective it is to have 4 people playing at the same time. At the end of a battle, players are rewarded with experience points, items, and money, and depending on the level of difficulty the player chooses at the start of a game will determine exactly how much experience points the player will receive after a battle. Now let's take a look at the game's graphics and audio.
What is wrong with you people?
Tales of Berseria offers 3D cinematics as well as 2D cinematic cutscenes. I love the amount of cutscenes, especially the 2D anime ones. There weren't very many graphical errors other than the fact that everything literally clips through everything. You might think I'm over-exaggerating, but this is just horrible to look at sometimes since I notice it every time. Every time I play a game, I notice the clippings and It's disgusting, I'm sorry. But other than that, I didn't really experience any glitches that ruined these beautiful graphics for me. As for the audio, this game features both English and Japanese voice acting. I played with the English voices, of course, and the acting was actually pretty good in my opinion. The soundtrack is also pretty cool. I like that each area has its own background music, so it never gets dull when you're exploring the game's world. Considering all the things we looked at, let's now go over the pros and cons based on my opinion and personal experience with this game. First, some pros would include a decent story, a good amount of cutscenes, a decent soundtrack, beautiful graphics, costumes, and of course the minigames. As for the cons, there's lots of clipping, and the ending was good, but it felt a bit rushed in my opinion. Overall, Tales of Berseria is a good game. I actually enjoyed it from start to finish, and in all honesty, it's the only Tales game out of the 3 that I've played that I've actually completed. I know there are many more games in this particular series, and I will get around to trying them all out, but as of right now, Tales of Berseria is my favorite Tales game. Now, before I forget, let's just address something right here, right now. The Malik Laffy set, aka Fee, is a lolly boy with an oversized collar. Now, I don't typically have a problem when an anime or video game character wears a collar. It's just I thought this was sort of weird, since I don't typically look at the lolly type characters with that sort of accessory, let alone a boy lolly with that sort of accessory. But moving on from that, I actually had a lot of fun exploring the given areas, watching the cinematic cutscenes, watching the characters develop from start to finish, and yes, I even enjoyed playing the mini-games. In fact, the card game one is probably the best minigame. So if you're a Tales fan and you haven't checked this game out yet, then definitely pick up a copy. I'm sure you'll love it. And if you're not so much a fan of the series, then hey, check it out anyways. It's different, I think it's cool, and you might actually like it. Now, it is claimed to be a distant prequel to the Tales of Berseria game, but I don't feel like you have to play that one to understand what's going on, since the developers developed this game to be played as a standalone game if you wish. So with that being said, Tales of Berseria gets an overall rating of 8 out of 10. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like. Also leave me some comments with your opinions on the game, questions, or even requests. I love reading what everyone has to say, and yes, I actually respond to your comments, so keep sending the love. Remember to subscribe if you're new, and feel free to support me on Patreon so you can watch all of the newest and latest videos first. This has been a Gaming Goddess review, and remember to keep on gaming.